Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel BAETTA.Bangladesh to get the latest videos on learning English, IELTS, TOEFL, GRE, GMAT, SAT, GED, ELT, TESOL, and Linguistics. This is Emil Alert, Chairman IELTS and Head of Linguistics BAETTA Bangladesh, a more than 20 years experienced IELTS trainer and IELTS 8.5 band scorer with my IELTS 8 Plus Preparation Training Course Part 5 IELTS Speaking Module Lecture 1 Introduction to IELTS Speaking Test. As a part of my online IELTS teaching and training program, this lecture is on IELTS Speaking Test format and how is IELTS Speaking Test conducted. In this video, I will also discuss major aspects and core issues of IELTS speaking module. So, this video is very important and helpful for all kinds of IELTS candidates. Learn English, buy English, keep watching my English medium videos. I maintain international standard in teaching English and IELTS. Let's get started. Introduction to IELTS Speaking Test. The IELTS exam pattern comprises of 4 modules or subtests: listening, reading, writing, and speaking that takes total test times 2 hours and 45 minutes and 10 minutes extra. IELTS speaking is an oral test takes place between a candidate and an examiner. It's the face-to-face interview. In IELTS speaking test, you will have only one examiner who may be a native or a non-native expert. The whole speaking test is recorded on an audio recorder and IELTS speaking score is assessed based on the recorded performance of the candidate. There is no difference between IELTS academic and general training speaking tests. The speaking test takes between 11 and 14 minutes and consists of an interview between the test taker and a trained and certified examiner. Now, I am going to introduce the parts of IELTS speaking tests. Let's begin. Parts of IELTS speaking test. IELTS speaking module is an oral test held between a candidate and an examiner that extends for 11 to 14 minutes and that includes the following 3 parts. Part 1. Introduction and interview or personal and familiar questions. Part 2. Individual long-term cue card or task card presentation. Part 3. Two-way discussions or duet performance. Now, I will discuss each of the parts in details. Let's begin. Part 1. Introduction and interview. IELTS speaking part 1 is an interview on personal matter and a familiar topic where 3 to 5 short questions are asked to introduce candidates' personal information and other 3 to 5 questions are asked on a familiar or common topic. Speaking part 1 takes 4 to 5 minutes. In part 1 of the speaking test, the examiner will introduce him or herself and ask general questions on familiar topics. The examiner will ask you to confirm your identification. He or she will then ask general questions on familiar topics such as home, family, work, studies, and interests. Part 2. Individual long-term cue card or task card presentation. IELTS Speaking Part 2 is on presenting a cue card or task card where candidate is provided with a cue card, a paper and a pencil. He or she is allowed 1 minute for preparation by thinking and noting and 2 to 3 minutes for speaking on the task card. You will have exactly 1 minute to prepare and make notes before you speak. The examiner will use a timer and will tell you when your time is up. The examiner will tell you when to start your talk and will remind you that they will stop you after 2 minutes. At the end of the presentation, examiner asks 1 or 2 questions to round up the long term. Part 3. Two-way discussions. IELTS Speaking Part 3 is a structured or two-way discussions that extends for 4 to 5 minutes where examiner asks 4 to 8 explanatory questions on a more general topic related to task card. In this part, the examiner will ask further questions which are connected to the topics discussed in Part 2. This part of the test is designed to give you the opportunity to talk about more abstract issues and ideas. It's a two-way discussion with the examiner. IELTS Speaking Part 3 also lasts 4 to 5 minutes. Now, let's see when is IELTS Speaking Test administered and taken and how is IELTS Speaking Test conducted. IELTS Listening, Reading and Writing tests are conducted and taken in a single day. In that day, the test starts with listening. Then reading and writing tests come afterwards subsequently. IELTS Speaking Test is conducted in another day. It may be before or after the day of the other tests are given. Candidate's speaking test day and time is informed by email from the concerned test center at least before 2 days of the test. Now, I will be talking about a review of IELTS Speaking Module syllabus and test format at a glance. Let's go. IELTS Speaking Module syllabus and test format review at a glance. The speaking module takes between 11 and 14 minutes and consists of an oral interview between the candidate and an examiner. All interviews are recorded. The overall structure of the test is summarized below. Part 1. Introduction and interview on personal and familiar topic. Nature of interaction in Part 1. In Part 1, introducing, examiner introduces him or herself and confirms candidate's identity. Examiner interviews candidate using verbal questions selected from familiar topic frames like yourself, your family, your work, your interest, hobbies, and so on. Speaking Part 1 lasts for 4 to 5 minutes. Part 2. Individual long-term cue card or task card. Nature of interaction in Part 2. In Part 2, you will be given a task card which asks you to speak about a particular topic and includes points that you can cover in your talk. You will be given 1 minute to prepare your talk. Examiner asks candidate to speak for 2 to 3 minutes on a particular topic based on written input in the form of a candidate task card, cue card, and content-focused prompts. Examiner asks 1 or 2 questions to round up the long term. Speaking part 2 extends 3 to 4 minutes, including 1 minute preparation time. Part 3, two-way discussion on a cue card related topic. Nature of interaction in Part 3. In Part 3, examiner invites candidate to participate in discussion of a more abstract nature based on verbal questions thematically linked to Part 2 topic. In Part 3, you have a longer discussion on the topic. The examiner will ask you further questions connected to the topic in Part 2. Part 3 takes 4 to 5 minutes. Guys, that is the end of my IELTS 8+ Preparation Speaking Series Lecture 1. In my IELTS Speaking Series Lecture 2, I will talk about IELTS test scoring criteria, skills and parameters. Friends, don't hesitate to contact me if you have any query on IELTS. If you enjoy my lectures, you can like, comment and share the videos. To get IELTS update videos, please subscribe BAETTA Bangladesh channel to stay connected with us. Thank you and love you all for watching this video.